One of the things I saw you mention is about this idea of non-religious spirituality, because I know people get very hung up on the idea of spirituality only coming from religion, which obviously has been radicalized throughout history and used in negative ways. And now you have a little bit of this pushback in modern times of very atheistic mentalities. I think a lot of people nowadays have replaced God with either science or money, one or the other. And those aren't good things either. But yes, you may not be a religious person, but that doesn't mean that you can't be a truly spiritual person. But tell me about your thoughts on non-religious spirituality.
For me, it's probably quite simple. I love data and science and so on. And I also believe that the stuff that we can't explain, that we'll never be able to, and I'm not just okay with that, I kind of like it. I don't know why I like it. But some of this stuff with synchronicity, some of the stuff where a person pops into my head and it feels like right to reach out to them, having not spoken to them in a year. And then as I'm about to, a text message comes through and it's from them. Like, it seems to happen too often for it to be just a random occurrence. We seem to be able to influence the world around us, one another, in ways that blows my mind. What, there's something more. Now, the obsession seems to be, well, prove to me what that something more is. Explain it. Explain it's the guy with the beard and all in white on a cloud. I don't know what it is. I don't care. Does it matter? Is my life better or worse because I believe that there's some forces beyond what we're aware of properly and that we can link into? I will say yes, because I didn't believe that at all a number of years ago. And through various things that have happened in my life, I do believe that more. And I think my life seems to be better. Now, some people, some great authors would probably say, you're just trying to fulfill a need by imagining there's some higher being or higher power, whatever else, to make you happier. Now, we could get into a debate whether they're right or wrong, but there's that other part of me that wants to say, I don't really give a shit. Because my question to you is, are you happier and more fulfilled in your life because of that skeptical approach? Or am I happier and more fulfilled? Now, I don't believe I'm trying to blind myself or convince myself of something, because I came from a more skeptical place. I've just found that if I let go or lean into believing that treating people right will just bring the right things when it needs to, that doing the right thing in the world will bring abundance in the right way, that it just seems to be right. And I just keep getting evidence of it because, well, why did that thing happen and that thing and that? And all these wonderful things happened. I didn't go make them happen. Did I? Did I? Do I care? And maybe the argument isn't necessary. Now, I do have an issue with religion when it becomes radicalized and starts creating good or bad. There's plenty of people that use religion in a positive way, I believe. It's the way of them being able to picture maybe their spirituality. And if that helps, then that's awesome. So I've fallen away from, I used to be very opinionated, or religion's all bad and all wars are because of religion and so on. Nah, maybe tribal as species, that stuff would happen anyway. Everything's got its pros and cons. But I just believe there's something more, and my life is better when I believe there's something more and lean into it. I don't know if I'm answering your question very well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, this is the idea of experiences matter in this, and data is always going to be something that's from the outside, and evidence is always skewed. You can find any study that shows, religion is the cause or it's the greatest thing ever. It helps you. But it's about the experience. And I know this, that a number of the people I knew that grew up in religion kind of pushed it away aside, just didn't believe in it, and then went to atheism, just did not have that lust for life almost, in a sense. It became sort of this jadedness to the world of sorts. It's not everyone. It's my observation of these things. And I've, dealt with this too. I've studied so many different religions. I don't find myself a devout anything. I find myself a devout observer of the spirituality of the world and seeing where people can, take the good things out of it and leave those parts that don't resonate with you. And I think that's very interesting
what
too.
Do you believe? What would your answer be?
Oh, I believe there's something bigger than us, and just that alone, just that knowing that there's something gives me more enjoyment and purpose in the world.
And you
That
smiled as you said it. And literally watched your face change as you said it. So, okay, so one can debate right and wrong, or what's a useful belief or not. I looked in your face like that was a useful belief. So,
Yes, yes, and I have to say this, that whether you go into, again, the religious route or a spiritual route, a level of faith is something I have witnessed time and time again that has aided so many people in a healing journey from incurable to healthy today.
that's
And
amazing.
it's one of the X factors. It's purpose is a huge one too. If you don't have purpose to get out of being diseased, you'll find a way to stay diseased because the disease becomes your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You become the diagnosis, you become that level of, sympathy and pity upon me, and what am I going to do, and I don't know, this is my life now, I'm used to it, so you become that. But I have seen this, and again, I've talked to so many, and it's just been around me my whole life, being around patients and doctors, those that do have that level of faith, some passion and purpose, are in a much, much better place to heal from that. And they will then find answers, such as you did, into the whys of the world and into the thoughts really do matter. And then you keep going and going and going and learning through it and evolving. And I say healing is really a transmutative and transformational process. It's not the avoidance or the ridding of symptoms that we say, oh, I took a pill and it worked, the treatment worked. Like, no, you
Yeah.
didn't change from it. I think disease is there for a reason. I think what you went through as well was there for a reason. Your own body was trying to tell you, like, hey, this is not serving you. You need to address this
I
thing,
love
this thought,
that.
this belief.
It's that thing around rather than why is this happening to me? Why is it happening for me? And
Yes.
just reprocessing it that way. And I look back and some of my past things, physical things, got me attention at a time when I felt insecure and therefore having attention was positive. And it's like, really? That was the best way you could come up with? Well, it wasn't me consciously coming up with that. It was a confused 3-year-old coming up with the best solution.
Yes.
It all needs digging into. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And I do think there's something to be said for if you're listening to this and saying, well, here are two guys that have been doing this for a long time, chatting like it's normal to think this way. And, it's not. I know we're anomalies in the world. When I say these things to other friends, they just roll their eyes. And like you said, what a woo-woo crazy guy is,